People who have found their friends' secret Reddit accounts. What was the most shocking thing you found out about them? I found my co-worker's Reddit account recently. Apparently she feels really invalidated and underappreciated in her position. Which really surprised me because she's a highly influential manager who makes probably more than 3x as much as me. Edit. A word. They write the most atrocious fanfic. Someone found mine and now they can't stop giving me it for what I comment. Found my wife's account. It wasn't a secret account per se, but then again I didn't know she even had an account to begin with. Turns out she's a really nice person who posts positive and uplifting things to people who usually need to hear it. 10/10 would marry again. He knew we knew and trolled us for years. That my friend was suicidal. Nobody knew until one of us had to go onto his laptop to turn in an assignment for one of his classes. He thought everyone was just playing with him and that we as his friends secretly loathed him. When we told him, he became mad and deleted his Reddit and said it was all a joke. He killed himself 9 months later. I miss you, Shajid. How much my friend valued our group. My ex introduced me to Reddit and I didn't use it much then. But now that I do use it, I saw our old first messages and decided to creep on his account to see what he was up to. Posted a lot of jokes about my stupid ex, so that kind of hurt. My other ex, more recent, posted a pic of my nose to our melody. That kinda stung Mayo. Edit. Here's my nose, weirdos. A wide and vast array of colorful kinks. No judgment here. This originally started as a throwaway for the same reason. I see you like girls wearing thigh highs covered in cum. Mark, I see you. And I don't judge you. But I'll never tell him I found it. How can someone tag the guy who jacked it to his friend's Reddit then told her BF? I found a friend's Reddit account and discovered that he recently had his circumcision performed at birth, reversed. They like their wife. He mocks my wife is my best friend guy, but on Reddit he mentions her in every comment as a subtle way to flaunt the fact he got laid. I don't usually share terribly incriminating stuff, but my nephew did discover a post in which I suggested jerking off directly into the toilets to avoid cleanup. Embarrassing, but I hope he found it to be valuable practical advice. Found a family member's account and was unpleasantly surprised by how many disparaging comments there were about me and my family. He's got an array of homoerotic fetishes. Found my boyfriend trying to cheat on me. She does some very interesting cosplays and photo shoots. I shouldn't have been too surprised as some of her Facebook pics were interesting, but these were much more so. This is a bit different, but my friend from when I was doing roller derby found me on here. We chatted. Nothing too surprising for either of us in our posts except I'm bipolar, which she didn't know. The hardest thing is she died 3 weeks ago. I keep going to her account here and her last messages to me as it makes me feel better to know she's still on Reddit in a weird way. She had epilepsy and died suddenly in her sleep before her 33rd birthday, so it was very unexpected and sad. Nothing all that interesting. Also, don't use your gamertag, Skype name, Steam name etc. as your Reddit name. Everyone nervously scrolls through to see if they've been found. On another account I deleted, my ex and I were posting about our breakup and had no clue that we were inadvertently commenting on each other's post. Fast forward a few weeks and I posted about committing suicide, and as I'm walking to my car I am stopped by police and they tell me that they had a call about me wanting to harm myself and even told me how I'd do it. Something only Reddit knew when I posted it. Long story short, I am sketched the duck out and notice I have a follower Reddit. I went back to see anyone I've been talking to and that user was the only one. Then I went and snooped through her history and I knew in my gut who it was. It was very strange, but I am so very thankful. We no longer speak anymore and she hates me, but she honestly saved my life that night. I would have died had I not been stopped by authorities. If you are reading this, thank you. Update. Holy smokes. I didn't even think many people would read this. Thank you everyone for the kind messages and the honor of awarding me gold. Just so you know, this was a little over a year ago and I am so much better mentally than I was. I've been on medication, therapy, exercising, does wonders BTW. If you ever feel like you're in a dark place, just know that people love you and care about you, even ones that you might not expect. Found my ex commenting on porn using the same pet names he would use for me. It was actually great because it killed any residual feelings I had for him. Threads like this are why I hide my subscribed subreddits and delete my username every so often and make a new one. So a buddy of mine recently got Snapchat and had a very unique username that deals with where we grew up. When I saw that username auto-populate on my Snap, I immediately knew it was him. You can imagine how shocked I was when I saw how active that same username is in Naughty from Neglect and Rayob. He married one of my best friends, so I was really surprised to see him activity search and even more shocked when all his posts are looking for males only. My ex. Asking for nudes and phonetics. I was right next to him when I found it. He gave me his secret username instead of his normal one accidentally when I asked him. Yeah, silly me too. I just laughed it off and tried to not make a deal about it because it was really embarrassing what he wrote and I couldn't really talk to my friends about it. Should have noped out then and there. He was my friend, I thought. Turns out he made a whole incel-inspired post about how I was an idiot slut who wouldn't sleep with him. It sounded so similar I was pretty sure it was him. A couple of clicks throughout his profile and it was 100% him. Not friends anymore. Found my brother's throwaway account. No way in hell he'd use it for business. Looks like dad died. That she's just like everyone else. I was hoping for some dirt. Found out a friend's dad was physically abusive to her mom and cheated on her mom, that they were transgender. I was oblivious and then everything made sense. That they were gay and opinionated. I found a co-workers and they are really lonely, insecure and post asking for a lot of advice. It is pretty sad. Then I got nervous they'd be able to somehow see my posts since I viewed their profile, so I went through and deleted my posts and account. I keep 2 accounts and the occasional alt. One account that I post in my city's sub and more identifying info. And another account I post in my profession field's job. My field is small enough that combined with my city and other comments posts, anyone who knows me could put it together. So I keep it separate. Not Reddit, but another community. If they are on Reddit I haven't seen anything yet. But anyhow, sexual deviant. Very much into exhibitionism and public performances with a high risk of getting caught, either solo or with a hubby. They are strongly opinionated on the idea of circumcision. Like extremely opposed to it. I'm extremely close with this person and I had absolutely no clue how passionate they were about the subject. So I had felt for a while that my girlfriend's family didn't like me, but whenever I said anything to her about it, she insisted I was wrong and just imagining it. Then I found her brother's Reddit profile. He and I are fans of the same baseball team and in a post on that team's sub I saw a post that sounded just like him. Clicked on the username and it was definitely him. Lots of identifying details. So I start scrolling through, and sure enough he has posted several times things like, "My family and I hate my sister's boyfriend." It hurt my feelings. And I also felt like my girlfriend kinda gaslit me by insisting I was wrong. But I will say one thing made me feel better. He did a post on "Am I the asshole" about whether he's an asshole for not wanting to invite me to family stuff, and basically everyone said he's the asshole because his reasons for not liking me are really shallow and stupid. I had a fairly new co-worker that moved back home to care for his sick mom. A couple months later he asked management if he could come back and they said yes. He must have been having trouble coping with something, because he disappeared sometime in the afternoon on his first day back. A day or two after he disappeared a post was made on a local subreddit that was obviously him based on what I knew about him. He was just asking if anyone wanted to hang out because he didn't have many friends. I got really worried and asked him if everything was okay. He never responded and deleted his Reddit account shortly after. Anyway, he was really into weed and programming. We could have been really good friends. I didn't find out anything about them. I just saw their bare ass. He was into dolls. It wasn't shocking, but I still don't quite understand it. Man, I wish people would include how they found out. I found out one of my 2 best friends has been a closeted homosexual for at least 3 years. Well, mine wasn't exactly secret, but I didn't exactly advertise it either. A friend from college found it, and through my posts he found out that I had a massive crush on him. Long story short, we're getting married in 2 months. You did it, Reddit. His wife has a masquerade mask used to document their naughty times. He talked mad it about even his best friend and secretly despised some of us. My best friend is dating his, but I stopped talking to him. So did my best friend. That they like to have their ass filled. Some people, they're friendly. They'll ask if you want a coffee if they're making a run to Starbucks. You just don't think, hey, this person likes a zucchini up the old back door. She boasted in a thread about being right when telling my ex-husband that I have BPD, and she was so smug about it. I do not. I'm actually not diagnosed with anything a year after my separation and doing loads of work on myself. If she stalks me too, I want her to know both my therapist and doctor agree that I'm 100% mentally stable. I haven't found any, but just out of curiosity, how does one go about finding out someone's account? Even my email is something completely off the wall that no one short of a deep web hacker would be able to trace back to me. Or did I just answer my own question? I know for a fact that one of my friends found my account because I was talking about a comment I made that had a surprising number of upvotes, and he went looking during the dance session and told me he clicked the follow button. I'm not exactly secretive about my Reddit use and don't try to hide anything about it, even if I also don't generally advertise it either. I'm the same person on Reddit as I am in real life, so it doesn't bother me too much. But I definitely bring up the fact I'm on probation to random internet strangers when it's at all relevant, much more than I ever would to people I know in real life. Though I don't think I've actually said what the charges are except in person to my closest friends. He hasn't brought it up, and I have no idea how actively he stalks me. But my charges are just a Google away since he knows my name, and it's nothing I've talked to him about in real life. I feel like if he did let curiosity get the better of him, though, it might answer a couple questions he might have about my family dynamic that are a little different from what it used to be as a result of my mistakes. That they were secretly talking it about me. Always knew he was kind of rich, and when I saw his response to an AskReddit question, who's your friend who you secretly don't like and what did they do, I saw his true feelings about me. Oh, Noah, is that you? Reading this response? Duck off. My friends have found my Reddit main ACC since my dumbers linked it with my Discord. Jason, if you see this, you're dumb as hell, mayo. Who the hell has non-secret profiles? That a couple of things he will occasionally deride as weird or doesn't get, he is in fact quite a bit into. And by quite a bit I mean a lot into. My boyfriend opened Reddit on my computer and noticed I was logged in, I guess didn't find it but still, and wondered why I had so much karma. Realized I mostly post cat stuff and called me cute. I don't think he's looked at it since. Obsession with Brie Larson. My friend thinks that incest is totally okay and should he legalize nationwide. That one threw me for a loop. If you're reading this, check my post history and you'll know who I am, buddy. P. I automatically think people know who I am on any and all social media sites, so I don't post something that I don't care if someone finds out. My friends and family may be surprised that I'm romantic, but everything else is widely known in my circle. That she's actually been in love with my dumbass for the last 5 years and now we're dating. Update: we broke up a week ago. Sorry to disappoint. One of my friends found this account and that's how I was basically forced to come out. So that was fun. She has a lot more mental struggles than she lets on, and is also much more sexually active than I would have expected. I was crushed to discover many of his funny anecdotes were stories from Reddit and 4chan he stole and said happened in his own life. He commented on most of them asking details and really strange comments. It was pretty sad. Surprisingly racist for a man married to an immigrant. I think I found my hot friend's nude Reddit. We went to HS together. That he served in the army for 10 years, but is also going to high school at 11 and also manages to juggle 3 jobs and a kid while also going through a divorce. I didn't know he had such a crazy life. I found out my best friend is a gay furry. He has strict Catholic parents, so I never saw it coming. Doesn't change my friendship with him though. I found out some stuff I shouldn't know about the damned campaign he's running. Someone I know online looked up one of my other usernames and found my Reddit account. Luckily they can only get glimpses since they don't use Reddit. I found an account with multiple sets of face pics that look exactly like someone I know, but a post from only 2 months ago says they're in a different state, so I'm thoroughly confused. I only know of them. I doubt they know me. We went to the same camp and go to the same youth group, but their first post was some weird fetish thing, so yeah, I'm never bringing it up. Found my roommate's D-pic soy. I work with youth at risk, so I'm obviously not allowed to let any of the kids I work with on FB or social media, but they'll stalk me regularly. Find my secret accounts. Find my YouTube. And then I'll try to tell a story and they'll say, "Yo, I already know." One kid told me they took screenshots of my posts and kept them on their phone. That was a little weird, to be honest. They even found my kinda slutty Insta I used to follow yaoi, anime, K-pop, and post cute more feminine stuff. The problem with working with youth is they are better at technology than me. It makes me feel like a celebrity, but it's frustrating cause I can't really post on anything anymore without having to double think about it in case one of my kids finds it. I set a bad example. Or, they'll go full creep and take screenshots. Reddit, you are my safe place. Please don't change. Not Reddit, but another social media site. It was a neighbor and for a while co-worker. Nudes, flashing, porn, weed, at a job where there's zero tolerance. Group sec. Him and his wife definitely had fun. Edit. Group sec is group 6. I found one of my co-workers, who was in a long-term monogamous hetero relationship, was trying to become a sexy pen pals with a trans woman. Whatever floats your boat, but I did not expect that from him. A conservative young guy from the rural Midwest. Reading through this thread, I'm a bit scared that a friend would find my Reddit profile. But then I realized I don't have any friends. Pup play. He loves putting on a hood, going to leather fetish bars on a leash, and acting like a human-dog hybrid. He said it helps him decompress and it's mostly psychological. The most interesting part was how often and vehemently he denied being a furry. I know it may sound like splitting hairs to me, but it's definitely had notes of he who doth protest too much. He's as gay as me. Sadly, also racist. He was extremely obsessed with wrestling. Posted on every possible wrestling based subreddit with some regularity. We love him all the more for it. Found out one of my friends was into crossdressing and posted a lot of NSFW pics. He looked like a very convincing girl. He figured out I knew when I said his username during a conversation about Reddit. He just went quiet, looked at me and said, "So, what do I think?" I chuckled and said, "Do what you wanna do, I'm not gonna judge." He's still a good friend. I'm not sure, but I had a conversation with someone recently and I'm paranoid it might be my ex-husband trying to duck with me. Oh well. They browsed a subreddit entitled B Porn. Found out my good friend really likes the show 90 Day Fiancé registered sign. Like loves it. Haha. I hope he somehow sees this. I got nothing against it, but he's a big tough tatted up jiu-jitsu black belt. He's awesome. I found out my best friend's Reddit account and honestly the only shocking thing about it was his username, which had cunt in it. A word he doesn't use IRL. The only things he posted were a few threads where he was trying to sell tickets back when he had season tickets to the Bulls and a comment giving someone career advice in his field. It was all pretty normal. Not a friend but a classmate I know decently well. 2 words. Furry. Porn. They are not the type of person I would have thought would post that stuff on Reddit. Not a friend, an ex-BF that gave himself away by a code we used to use on a sub he knew I'd eventually see. His entire profile was posts to relationship and advice subs on how to get me back and how to get over heartbreak. It made me really sad. I was a bad person when we dated and I clearly ducked him up. He was a good dude and I hope he finds somebody that makes him forget about me. I found my husband's Reddit account and discovered he says a lot of really nice things about me and IDK, that's what I'm living for y'all. There's an old Artifu post about a mother who found her son's Reddit account, only to learn things she never wanted to know about his sexuality in addition to finding out he had discovered her love chest. That he's a lurker. My roommate left his phone unlocked once. I opened his Reddit and wrote down his username. Later I went and looked up his account. It was a 3-year-old account with exactly one comment. Someone else had made a 69 joke and he said nice.